TV, anime, video games, books, Star Trek, Marvel, My Hero, Hook. It don't matter what you into, don't matter what you do, here on Nerd Shit, we got something for you.
Welcome back to Hypothetically Sound Presents-Nerd Sh, and we are here with the season finale of season 1 of The Walking Dead, titled Ts.19. You guys ready to talk about the season finale?
Yes. It's been a long season.
All 6 episodes.
Yes.
As always, we'll start with the plot of the episode in case you guys haven't watched it in a while, and then we'll break down what we thought of it. So the episode opens with a flashback where Shane is ensuring that the still unconscious Rick is secured with the hospital during the onset of the zombie apocalypse. He puts a gurney in front of the door as military people are shooting things in the hospital, walkers in the hospital, and he escapes. Then it goes back to the present with Rick's group having entered the CDC building in Atlanta with help from its sole remaining scientist, Dr. Edwin Jenner. Jenner makes them undertake a blood test to prove they are not infected. The group enjoys the luxuries of the facility, which is self-powered and still running hot water, food, alcohol, and other amenities. Jenner admits he is the only researcher that stayed behind. Many of the others have left for their families or committed suicide. A drunk Shane approaches Lori about her callous attitude towards him with Rick's return and attempts to rape her, but backs off when she scratches his neck. Jenner later shows Rick's group what he had learned from the test subject 19, who had been his wife, but volunteered to be courted after she was bitten in the hopes of discovering a cure. The infection kills the carrier, but causes the brain to reactivate and reanimate the body shortly thereafter, eliminating any conscious human traits. Jenner has been in communication with other facilities worldwide before they went silent, knowing that the French had been close to a cure, but affirms that human civilization is ceasing to exist. The group discovers that the generator's fuel reserves are near exhausted. When empty, the facility will enter a self-destruct mode by design to eradicate all the infectious disease stored there. Jenner seals the building, refusing to allow Rick's group to leave, but promises that the high-impulse weapon designed to destroy the facility will mean their deaths will be quick. Rick's group tries in vain to have Jenner open the doors, and Rick eventually convinces him to allow them to at least try overcome the tragedy rather than be forced to die in the building. 2 of Rick's group, Jackie and Andrea, choose to stay behind, but Dale refuses to leave without Andrea and stays as well. As Rick departs, Jenner whispers something to him shortly thereafter. Andrea has a change of heart, not wishing to see Dale die, and the 2 escape the building moments before its destruction. The survivor members return to their vehicles and set off away from the smoking husk of the CDC. That was a mouthful. So yeah, the final episode I thought had a lot of stuff packed into it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll start with the opening scene of the flashback to Shane trying to protect Rick. What do you guys think of that opening scene?
It shows how unstable Shane is in the very beginning. Kind of, right?
Yeah, and it actually, makes you think, well, he wasn't lying in his mind, but, he's trying to convince Lori that he just didn't leave Rick to die, that he honestly thought he was dead or would be dead. So in his head, that's where his craziness started.
Mm-hmm. But why do you guys think that's where his craziness started?
I don't think it's where it started. I think it's just at this moment in time, it is he's unsure of how he feels about Rick.
Mm-hmm.
He's like obviously on the cusp of wanting Rick deady or saving Rick because he is a homie, or he was the homie.
True.
That's why I said it shows like a signs of his unstableness, because he's not really, even if it is for Lori's sake or like to put on a show, it's still like he doesn't know how he feels about Rick yet, because he still has a sense of loyalty to Rick, but he also like is unhappy with Rick being there.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Makes sense. I do find it funny, like I think they did a good job for uh for what it was, but still weird that the military never opened that door. Oh,
Shooting
there's a
everybody. They were shooting everybody. Why didn't he just shoot Rick while he was in the bed?
oh, yeah, he could have done that, but I don't think he wanted to kill Rick. I don't think he could. I don't think he could do that
No,
at
not
any point.
Shane. Not Shane, the army guy that popped in the room.
No army guy went into Rick's room.
Yeah, he opened the door because Shane was underneath the gurney. Why didn't the army guy, since they were shooting everybody anyway, shoot Rick while he was in the bed?
I
They were
don't remember that. All I remember is he heard shooting, looked out, saw that they were doing it, went back to Rick, and then left and put a gurney in front of the door so no one went in.
Yeah, no, there was a part where they came into the room and Shane he was gonna pick Rick up and carry him out, and then they started firing, so he put Rick down, and then someone opened the door and he jumped down on the other side of Rick's bed and hid. And they looked around with the gun because you're seeing through the view of the gun,
Mm-hmm.
and then just left the room.
I don't know. That is a plot hole.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that. Yeah, no, it makes no sense that he was left alive in any situation there.
Yeah.
Weird.
Very.
And then we flash forward back to the president when they enter the CDC and they're all thanking Jenner, and he does the blood tests. Now you're in this place and he's like, okay, we have some hot water, don't use it all. Food, alcohol, all this stuff. Enjoy yourselves. Do you guys indulge, or do you like, as if you were like the group leader, would you allow everybody to indulge, or would you say, hey, let's let's be thankful for this stuff, but let's make sure we spread it out? What would you guys do?
Probably indulge. Like,
You're gonna tell them not to, but when they're in a hot shower, you're gonna stand there and watch them shower.
the fuck you mean? I not indulge. What?
Yeah.
In that situation, I don't know if I can honestly, like, even as a leader, I don't know if I can honestly say, like, no, we have to watch out these resources, because, like, I don't think they had a plan of staying there the whole time anyways.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it was a pit stop in a sense of hope, because they're like, oh, the CDC's on it, right? Yeah. And like maybe there was an idea that they could stay for a while, but I don't think anyone was like, yeah, this is the permanent location.
Carol kind of was, because Carol made a comment about, we have enough books and stuff here for years. But that's, Carol just trying to figure out what she was going to do with her life. She was happy to just stay there.
Yeah, I do think in, like, maybe they didn't say it out loud, but I do think in the back of some of their minds that they were thinking this was a safe place.
Well, that's why I said it was a sense of hope, yeah, but like realistically, there's no way.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. I do think, like, the alcohol consumption, I guess you're in safety for the first time, so it makes sense. Like, you're fully secure in there with those gates down that you couldn't even get into, so no walker's going to get into. So it makes sense that they would completely let go when they got inside and they were given the opportunity to. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Are you saying that if you were a group leader, you would tell them to, like, not?
I don't know. Like, it would, like, you would have to take stock of what's there. Like, because, yeah, if I'm in the CDC and I see those things come down, I want to stay there as long as possible and do whatever it takes to stay there as long as possible. And so if we go in and he's like, yeah, I have food for a month.
Did he say how long he had food for?
I don't know.
Because
No,
I don't think he did. I just think he's like, yeah, we have supplies. And
yeah,
like
but
that's obviously a question you would ask then, but if you're implied that he has just like an abundance of supplies, then yeah. Fucking for the first day or first night, yeah, go for it.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, and it's just
yeah, his
you would
only
have
concern
to
was the
search.
power.
Yeah.
So what would be the one item that you can, without even thinking about it now, we take it for granted that you would miss?
Henry.
So
Like I
like
said,
theirs was in that one, they're like the hot water.
Yeah,
Internet.
probably internet or hot water. Basic necessity shit. Basic necessity things now, I suppose.
Like obviously, in internet's like you can get over not having the internet for like boredom reasons. You can like when you're trying to survive for your life, boredom's not an issue. Uh, I think it's more for readily available information.
Well, I mean, it's apocalypse. What are you looking up the fucking 45th president for?
It's a matter of like the inaccessibility of finding out what's happening. Like is the biggest thing you would miss is being able to understand, like have different perspectives from different areas and see what's happening around the world. Like that function that is a pivotal part of
Oh,
your life is gone.
I don't even
Yeah,
use the internet for that.
I would miss being able to play music. Because then if you were caught somewhere where you're by yourself or something, at least there's always something.
Music's always findable. You just got to find a Walkman and batteries.
Yeah, but it's not readily available where you can just turn it on.
True. So it goes from them indulging to the whole Shane and Lori situation, which is while being a weird scene, a necessary scene to show like the relation dynamic changing between them. What did you guys think?
I think it ended any kind of sympathy Lori may have had for him. Like any where she was still trying to be decent with him
Mhm.
to a point, killed it.
Sure.
From her perspective, it's probably terrifying. Like, obviously terrifying, but like that was someone you trusted at one point,
Hmm.
like with your life,
Yeah, that you cared about.
and then like that switch up would be just terrifying in general.
Hmm. Makes sense. And then we go from that to Jenner explaining that his wife and that there was almost a cure, and then everything just slowly stopped existing, and then they find out that the generators are failing. Uh, so then comes to the big point of the episode: is would you guys have stayed or left? You find out it's failing. He'd let you know that it's going to explode. You die in an instant. You won't even feel it. Uh, do you stay or do you go?
If I was healthy, I would go and take my chances. Or if I had you know, like Rick had Lori and Carol had her daughter. So there was still a chance to get them something better. But if you're at an age where it really, why even try when you know what the end result's going to be?
So, and that becomes a thing. He has told you there is no chance for anything better. He says they had like everybody made they made their chance at it. One person was close, but then they also went silent. There is nothing left. He is the last CDC in the world. No one has a cure. There is no cure. What better are you hoping for at that point?
Just what they went out and did. Find some place that you could at least call home.
I don't know. I think it'd be chill to die there.
This is what it comes down to: is like you're living to survive at that point, and how much of a life is that really if you're just living to survive when you like there is nothing else. You're not going to be part of the generation that restarts. Uh, the world is destroyed. It's going to go back to zero before it gets to good again. And like at that point, if you can leave the world in a painless way, instead of taking the risk of being torn apart, being tortured, being enslaved, being anything, just seems like I'm not saying like oh suicidal thoughts or anything. No, it just seems like in that universe, in that situation, not a bad choice. Honestly, like an 80-20 choice.
Yeah.
Especially with like kids and stuff, like they're not going to have a normal life. Their life is going to be who's dying next. And that just seems like a wild way to live. And like I think the reason that choice was made so dramatically is because he told it to the whole group with the kids present. I honestly think if he would have sat down with like Lori and like Shane and Rick and like Andrea and talked about it, I think they would have made a different choice. If he would have explained everything he knew just to those four, I think they would have just let the place go up in smoke without telling anybody.
Yeah. Well, and then what Rick knew before he left, what was whispered to him, that was a big thing to keep in mind too.
Yeah, and like obviously, if you watch the show, you know what he's whispered. It makes Rick look even worse. Like that, it makes Rick look even worse because now, not only do you know that like if there's no cure, you also know that no matter how, if any of your loved ones die of natural causes or whatever, you're gonna someone's gonna have to kill him. So if Rick dies by drowning, choking, heart attack, whatever, his kids are gonna have to kill him,
Mhm.
and that's a burden. Now you're putting an extra burden on your kids.
Yeah.
So that's why I say if Jenner would have told them all this information from the get go when they came in at dinner and the kids went to bed and other people went to bed, I think it would have been a different choice. I honestly do. I think that would have been the end of the series following those guys, which obviously can't happen because it's a TV show and whatnot. But yeah, I think it's a different choice if they knew the information straight away. Or even if they found out like, hey, it's uh we need more gas to keep it going, or this is going to happen. I do think like they would have chose the option to go try find gas
Yeah.
and keep the place running.
True.
Any final thoughts on the season finale of The Walking Dead?
No. Not for
No,
me.
because that one pretty much wrapped up and left a big old cliffhanger.
Yeah, what did he whisper? And then the place
Yep.
blowing up in the background.
Yep.
No, it was a good. It was a good first season.
Good thing he
Like
kept that grenade from the tank, though.
right, a good thing. Carol kept it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a good one.
Bro, how come nobody said nothing about that? Like, you just done diddly stole a grenade for what reason?
Yeah, true.
It was like, well, aren't you glad I did? It's like, yeah, but like, what else you be just snatching?
Mhm.
Like, that ain't just like some random thing to snatch. Just a straight up grenade. Like, what if you accidentally pulled the pin out of your purse? Like, you
Yeah,
carrying this bag around me, running, you tripping and shit?
Get shot, hit the bay, and it hits the grenade.
Like, it just don't make sense.
Yeah, no, it was wild. Some pop culture themes in this episode to wind down the season finale. Dr. Edwin Jenner was modeled after, I can't speak, was modeled after the English physician Edward Jenner, who was a pioneer in the eradication of smallpox. As the episode closes, you can hear the song "Tomorrow Is a Long Time" by Bob Dylan play in the background, which a lot of people are saying could have been a reference to the seemingly long hiatus the show took after the season finale. The virus going forward, Jenner lets them know that is similar to meningitis. And then a lot of people pointed out that the opening and concluding scenes of TS19 are reminiscent of Lost, the TV show Lost.
Interesting.
Think of that.
Yeah, so there's some interesting tidbits on it. The final episode amassed almost 6 million viewers and a 4.1 household rating. So not bad, not bad. And it got an 8.5 out of 10 in a lot of the critical circles.
Cool.
Yeah, so there's some
All I know is after that
factoids.
first season, I was like one of those people that like 10 more days to Walking Dead.
Yeah,
So
no,
season 2,
it was a. Let's see. So the original air date for the final episode was December 5th, 2010, and the next season didn't come out to the following fall in October of 2011.
Yep.
So almost a year hiatus between the two, which is wild. Like, it makes sense why they did it because it became bigger
I mean,
and
it's
bolder
wild
and
nowadays, but
yeah. No,
back
most
then it
most
makes
shows, most shows, like they take their winter break and then they come back in like April, and then go to the summer and then take a summer break and come back in the fall.
not AMC back then.
I thought AMC did the same thing. I thought they still
AMC
ran the
was like
regular
movie
yeah.
quality stuff, like Breaking Bad and stuff. That all had long breaks.
mhm.
They legitimately like were the first like not public television, cable television, like basic cable television show that or channel that like gave some high quality like shows to their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
Makes sense. Kind of like Netflix taking a year to do theirs.
Netflix got it from Walking Dead.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Breaking Bad's first season ended March 9th, and the second one premiered March 9th the following year. So yeah, they took about a year break in between. So yeah, no, it makes sense, I guess. I guess I never realized that AMC did that.
It's pretty much one studio, right? Making all these shows that are again movie quality, long episodes.
Yeah.
It just takes time.
No, definitely. Anything you want to say to everybody before we end the final episode of the first season of Walking Dead?
Well, I'm just psyching myself up to rewatch some of the ones in the future going forward that I really don't want to have to watch again.
Fair enough. Well, until next time, everybody, thank you guys for listening. As always, you can find us on Podbean, YouTube, the spiel at this point. Hypothetically Sound on everything. And until next time, have a great day.
Bye.
Deuces. Thank you for listening to Hypothetically Sound. We hope you enjoyed the episode. All episodes can be found at hypotheticallysound.podbean.com, as well as on Apple, Spotify, and Pandora. For full unedited video versions of the podcast, please visit us at youtube.com/hypotheticallysound.